let's talk about the math. Let's talk about, does it make sense? Because this is another argument you're going to hear is, well, we need to protect these jobs. We need to, this is good for the economy. This brings tax revenue into the community. Let's talk about that for a second, because that's really kind of a flashy bait and switch. It's another scare tactic that us, the taxpayers, are going to get, and us as Cleveland sports fans consistently gets, is if we don't continue to shell out money, we're going to devastate the regional economy. And so that's just baseless. And why I say it's baseless is this has been studied for decades now. Adam Duretsky did a study for the St. Louis Federal Reserve Board in 2001. And in that study, the entire evaluation was, is it an economic benefit, and should there be public financing of pro sports facilities and arenas? And you want to know what the result of that is? The answer is no. And it wasn't just for the St. Louis Federal Reserve. It's been studied by major university after major university and entity over and over and over again. And you know what the conclusion always is? It's a money loser for the local economy. Why? Because we got to talk about the cost. What happens to that $250 million? See, money's kind of like matter. It doesn't go away, it doesn't evaporate, it just gets moved. So instead of being able to spend $250 million on repaving those roads that are so quality in downtown Cleveland, or investing in water systems so that we're not poisoning kids in poor neighborhoods with lead in their water, or investing in our failing infrastructure, our failing schools, or our failing transportation system, public transportation system, which has a greater economic benefit to the region than any of these single pro sports teams does. What we've determined is that's the real cost here. We don't have the money now when it comes time to fix a failing infrastructure, because we're busy transferring wealth from the working people of this region to the folks that are billionaires that don't live here, or the pro athletes that live in the area but are only here because their pro sports team is here. So it's really about, what is the cost of these programs, not what the fake numbers that come in through, say, the Greater Cleveland Partnership would be. And, this is worth $400 million a year in taxes, which is really just shuffling and doubling and manufacturing numbers. Because what the study from 2001 determined by the Federal Reserve is, the money doesn't go away. People don't stop spending the money. They just don't spend it on the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Indians or the Cleveland Cavaliers or whatever the next pro sports scheme is developed. Probably going to be pro soccer for the region. But what it determined is, instead of me going downtown and spending the money, I'll spend my own money in Collinwood, or I'll spend my own money right here in Newburgh Heights, or I'll spend my own money in Brecksville. But you know what's crazy? Most of the people that attend these pro sports facilities don't even live in Cuyahoga County. The Q example. Let's talk about the Q. So that facility, 75% of the people that use that facility don't live in Cuyahoga County, but you and I as taxpayers are asked to pay for it. 95% of the people that use that facility don't live in the city of Cleveland, but the second poorest city in America is being asked to fund the renovation of a playground. That's what that is. It's a professional playground. So all while we watch our infrastructure, our communities, and our cities collapse around us, so that we can siphon money from the working poor to the billionaire class, to the millionaire class, so that there is a status quo maintained to protect the jobs of a relatively narrow few. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it will be zero impact, but the data, the macro data, says that those funds get spent in the neighborhoods to pay for restaurants and better paying jobs for servers, and neighborhood investment. That's what is starving our greater Cleveland area today.